Bring Twilight scenes to life is our topic today on Luminar Coffee Break. Let's see what we can accomplish in 15 minutes or less, starting now. Hello, everyone, and welcome. So today's topic is we're going to be working with the Twilight Enhancer AI. What I did, I came back from a photo conference in Orlando, and as I was driving, I kept thinking, well, what are some of the tools that a lot of us just haven't been using on a regular basis? And for me, it was the Twilight Enhancer. And it just so happened that the night before, there was a beautiful, beautiful Twilight, and I saw that, and I thought, oh man, this would be a perfect opportunity to use the Twilight Enhancer. But of course, I didn't take a picture, but I did find one. All right, so this is the photo that we're going to work with. Here's the original. All right, back to it. So here's the original image right here. I mean, it's nice. And believe it or not, this here, they considered done. This was a finished edit. What we're going to do is we're going to do this to it. All right, and I just want to show you a couple quick before I get into it on actually what we're going to do. It's simply going to use the Twilight Enhancer. I'm going to go through some of the tools here. We'll do a little develop to get her a little bit more exposed. We'll use Enhance AI. Then I'm going to tone down the color and possibly put a little noise reduction in it. So let's start with the fresh one. So here we are, and this is entirely up to you. If you want to make adjustments to this image first, but you know what? I found that Twilight Enhancer did most of my developing for me, so I'm going to stick with this. Now, here's the moth version. We're not going to do that. I'm going to bring it down to blue. There we go. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to an extreme just so you can see what we're doing with it. The exposure, I want to dial it back just a little. Now, a couple things I noticed. The sky, I'm going to leave the temperature as is, but here's dawn. Watch this. Always go to an extreme so you can see what it's doing. But look what it's doing to the water. So it's simulating that color tone of the blue. And I'm going to keep coming down. And we're going to leave this alone for a moment. And actually, you know what? I could do this. From here, I am going to relight the human. Because watch what's happening. Let me come up. Before, after, look at the human. And it found it. So look what it's doing, which I think is really cool. So I don't want it like this, because that's unrealistic. But I'm going to give it in the 70s. Water's looking pretty good. And here was the part that we have to work with. The mask refinement. And watch this. So here is where the horizon is. So at first, I thought, okay, I'll put it here. But watch this. If I spread this out, ooh, look what it's doing. Look how it's coming across the scene. Right about there. How's that? Yep, right about there. And then global. Look what it's doing in here. And I'm going to make it just a little bit more so it's bringing up the little reflection. My goal here is I want to try to make it look like it's coming up. And it's hitting her because her arms are out wide. So that's where I'm heading there. But notice the refinements that we did here. In the past, I just used to just click on the tool, and the defaults were pretty good. But here, look at this. We have a better, more tweaking of it. Now, you can, if there's areas like right in here or down in here, you could use mask, brush, erase. In fact, I'm going to use the brush. Let's erase it, but not at 100%. I'm going to dial it back a bit. And I'm just going to come in and just get rid of it just a little bit. In this area here, let it fade, and that's fine. All right? So now that we did this, here it is. Before, after, we're off to a great start, but I am going to come to the Develop tool, and I want to work on my black tones. I'm going to dial the tone down just a bit and bring the whites up just a little. See the difference. Yeah, look at that. Just enough to make a difference. Now, I want the focus also to be on her. So I love using Enhance AI. So I'm going to do a global change. Everything gets changed. But now I'm going to come back in with a radial gradient. I just want to select her. So now that change we just made, look at this. It's only affecting her. It's that little kiss that's throwing the light to her, and then I explore the rest of the scene. Now that I have that set, you know what I didn't do earlier was just add a little structure. In the past, I will admit, I love going to extremes like this, but yeah, Jim Nick keeps reminding me that that's too much. So I'll dial it just a little. There we go. Just enough to see. Right in there. All right. Now I have to make a decision. Here's the original. And this is what we're dealing with. Is that blue a little too much? I think it is. So let's go to color. I'm going to desaturate the entire image. But I do want to bump up the vibrancy just a touch. Look at that. Now it's toning it in. And then with the saturation, let's take that blue. Let's go. Good. So we got the blue, so we know that we're affecting it. Let's dial it back just a little. And while I'm here, we might as well take the luminosity or the luminance of that. Look at this. We can dial it in just a touch. Beautiful. Now, since we're dealing with a non-destructive workflow, and again, I'm going to come back to the edits and think of that as your history. Well, what I didn't do was I want to adjust the overall highlights. There we go, of the scene. Now, once I do that, I'm only seeing develop and twilight. Now, if I click on color, now all of it brings it back together. All right, so let's see the difference. Before, after. Now, at this point, it's entirely up to you. You could come in here again, let's say with enhance, and just let it help you improve color, detail, tone, and depth, and maybe say, okay, well, I kind of like this, but you know what? I want to be selective. I want to paint the effect in at a small amount, maybe just a little bit on these areas here. There we go. I like that. All right. And there we have it. All right. So let's look at the before and after. Look at the difference. And again, in the past, I just used to click on Twilight Enhancer and let it do its thing, and then never really worried about or worked on any of the other settings. But once I started playing around with it, I thought that was pretty cool. So there you have it. Try it on your next Twilight photos. When you feel like they just don't give you that punch that you're looking for, go through the different ones that we just went through. And don't forget, with the develop tool, the importance of black tone, making sure that that helps build the contrast. All right? Well, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you're here, please stick around for the Ask Me Anything question. For everyone else, thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.